And welcome back to day 19 of our adventure into Savage Lands. Well, it's actually day 20, but I'm going to replay it as if it's day 19 because I had a problem with the audio again, and I've actually worked it out what the problem is this time. Now the problem is OBS. You have a setting called the audio output capture, and if that auto switches off, then the game sound is gone. And so what was happening was that somehow when I switched my headphones on or off, depending on whether OBS was running or not, it auto switched off the audio output capture. So the game sounds got lost. And that was the problem. So day 19, I switched my headphones off and it automatically switched off the OBS. The game sounds. So we're back here again. Okay, so we need to, it's just coming up to morning here, so what we need to do is get some bodies on the ground. So we'll start with these two. I'd like to be able to do it one at a time, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. No, that guy's looking over and he's going to get involved in a minute. Okay, come on in. So I kind of reset back to exactly the same situation as I was in at the beginning of day 19. So for example, my gold armour is 100%, which it was at the end of day 19. I put my weapons back to where they were, and I even put the number of bandages back to where they were. So everything is the same as day 19. Only difference now is that we're getting the game sound, because this time I checked it, so I know we're getting it. Oh look, you've got a... this one would be left over from this morning, because I logged in just before. I can't avoid hits from these, unfortunately. But this S&D thing seems to work. Yeah, I can't avoid those. I'm sure there is a way if I kind of jump or do something, I'm not sure. I'll loot these guys later. So, this guy, I'm going to have to quickly switch into... I can't even see him in this light. Possibly because I got the brightness too high, I'm not sure. So you see there's quite a bit of damage there. And that was with spirit armor. Oh, that was probably why I didn't have spirit gloves on. There you go. So anyway, there's 4 bodies now. And I'll speed up healing here. So what we want is between 5 and 7 bodies here. I've never had to put more than 7 down. There's green things over there. You can't loot the bodies, so you have to wait, and they auto despawn after a little while, and then something else will respawn in to take their place. Ooh, that was interestingly glitchy. So unfortunately we've got this guy here who we don't... Oh, he's glitching as well. So all we can do with that guy is just kill him. We can't loot him, we just have to wait till he auto despawns and then hope that we get the Furies to come in, because we need between 5 and 7 bodies here. Reason then being that once we've got between 5 and 7 bodies, usually around 7 bodies, 6 or 7 on average, then nothing else will spawn in while we're fighting Kerr, which is what we want. So I was sitting in the hut last night just waiting for morning, and at one stage there were 9 Furies in here. Because all of the spawns were 2 Furies each. So 5 times 2 is 10. There was one behind me, so a total of 10. So all you can do at this stage is kind of keep looking around. Sometimes you'll see Furies up here. That ghost Fury was right there. Yeah, it's too bright. They come in eventually. There's a little bit of waiting around. Yeah, at least I know what that audio glitch is now. Yeah, lesson is to test it before every single recording. So I know, for example, the game sound is working now because I tested it before I even switched the game on. So if anything, I'm in a worse state than yesterday morning because I had to use another bunch of gold to repair my armour back to the 100% it was at. So when you go through a curve fight, yesterday I lost between 40 and 50% of my helmet, gloves and boots. That included all the Furies out here too. So, is that Lycor? It is. Good thing about Lycor is we really like his sword, so this will give us another one. He'll count as a spawn too, so this will be one of the 5 that we need. But he's going to maybe do a little bit of damage to our armour if he hits us too many times. He's actually fighting today. The other day I think he only hit me twice in the whole time, and today he's actually taking swings. I'm not sure if I can even afford this this armor damage. I'm not sure. Let's see. There you go. Keep resetting. Stop that. So where's our armor at? Yeah, we're good. Oops, it's not him. So we got a silver helmet this time. 2 more shards of Drackonus. We got another sword. This we don't need to use anymore. Spirit of Draconic Essence. So I'll leave the skull on him just because I don't want him to spawn. And we got these 2 guys, so these are just annoying because all you can do is kill and wait. So that's 1, 2, 3. I think that's 4 spawns. We need 1 more. So depending on whether it's 1 or 2 Furies that come in, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be 6 or 7 bodies, which is normal. So I think that's the last spawn. So we just have to sit here now and wait for that to despawn. What we can actually do is regain health here. As you can see, Lycor took about half of our health this time, which is more normal. That's what you'd normally expect in gold. So you can just watch those little green things. Eventually they'll disappear. There's also a good test to make sure nothing else is going to spawn in other than those 2 things. Of course, what can happen here is you get another 2 of those things spawning in. Then you have to kill them, and then wait until they despawn, and on and on and on. So you're just really hoping for Furies to come in so that you can get to Kerr. So as I mentioned, Kerr typically won't do more than 50% damage to your armor, especially the chest piece. He'll usually only do about 20% damage there. So if you go into the battle with more than half health on your armour, you can normally make it through to the end. And once you've got Rage Banes and etc., then he goes down faster. So you get even less armour damage. So we're just being unlucky here, so we just gotta have to wait till this guy despawns now. There's no other ones, are there? No. Because if we fight starting Kerr now, then something is liable to spawn in on us. And it could be another Lycor, so we could end up doing Lycor and Kerr at the same time, which I don't want to. But yeah, as long as all of your gold armour is over half, and like we don't have the optimum weapons at the moment, this is good, and I'll fight him with this as well. So that's a pretty neat combination, but once you've killed Kerr a few times, you get Rage Banes. Then the Rage Banes they swing really fast, they do a lot of damage. I can't remember the damage actually, I think it's 160 or I can't remember. But yeah, there are two of those and he goes down really fast. And so you can normally expect 30%, 40% damage, if that, on your helmet, gloves and boots. Now the Soulstorm, I have repaired that as well, because that's pretty consistent. When you're fighting him at this stage, you lose about 30% of the sword. So you've got 3 fights before you have to go repair it. And it is a little bit expensive to repair. How are we doing on the spawn? He's still there. So when it comes time to repair, yeah, there's a use of these things. So it's not just multiplayer where you need these things, but you can make them from well, I know, there you go. You can make them from soul remnants. Soul remnants are very easy to get. What else do you need? These flowers, they're all over the place, and there's a use for fragments of living ice. So if you do run out, I think we had 10 back at the house. And I just used 1 to get it back to 100% for today. But if you continued using Soulstorm, then you'd have to keep going back to get more fragments of living ice. Now as it happens, once you get better weapons from Kerr, you stop using Soulstorm. Basically, as soon as you get a Rage Bane, you won't be using Soulstorm anymore. Or I can't remember the combinations I used. Maybe it was when I got 2 Rage Banes that I stopped using Soulstorm. So he's gone now, something else will now come in, and let's just hope it's not another one of those damn green things. Come on, don't be... We want Furies, because then we can get to it. Don't get too close. Allow some spawning room. Come on, where are you? Anything up there? Ah, there they are. Well, there he is. There's only 1. But he will be the final spawn, I'm pretty sure. So these axe-wielding Furies are the ones where it seems easiest to avoid hits. You just gotta... Yeah, except for those where he does that downward swipe, and if you're directly behind him, somehow he hits you. So we'll pick up all this stuff later, we don't need any of it right away. You see what sorts of things they drop. Searing Blood. Just a sword. That one we looted. So we can go and summon Kerr now. Of course, because I'm having to replay yesterday, basically, I've only got 1 Heart of Tarvas left. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bodies. I think that's it, because that last spawn was only a single fury, not a double. If it was a double, then there would be 7. So I'm reasonably confident there's no more spawns coming in. Which means we can do this. And then go wait for him to come. He'll be here in about a minute. He comes from this direction. Now, meantime, we've got enough bandages. So I'm going to put this in my right hand. For some reason, you cannot put this in your left hand, so he has to stay there. I don't need this in my hand, so I'm just going to put that there, just in case I want to use it, which I know I won't. So there's really no point. I don't need Ghoul's Fang. So I'm going to put Babbo here. So he will poison me, and he's going to fly off at least one time. And during that time, he kind of flies around trying to burn you and stuff. You'll see what happens when he flies away. So, don't forget, this sword, it degrades when it's in your hand, so you don't want to put it in your hand until the very last minute. So he'll land right here. And go. So you see what damage he does per swing. So from this point on, it's just RNG, and that is how many times he swings. That one didn't do much damage, I don't know why. And when he does his fire blowy thing, he doesn't... that means he's not swinging. And I guess it's just RNG whether he does his blow fire thing or swing. So, because some days he swings a lot more than others, and that's just RNG again, but today feels reasonably light. Yesterday was reasonably light as well. It can get quite heavy, so we're going to hotkey a bandage there, and then we're back at it. You can see these weapons are cutting him down pretty quick. All of our armor is still over 50%. So, I always sit behind this leg here. Again, that's just habit. I've seen some people sit in front of him, and I don't know, this is just where I feel comfortable, behind this knee, because it's easy to move with him. And there he goes. And you want to disarm that sword so it doesn't keep degrading. So if you're not going to be running around, there's no need to cure the... We got loads of bandages, so I'm going to get to full health. So you just need to watch him, because he's going to dive bomb me now. When he comes in, he dive bombs in a straight line. If you get in the corner, he'll miss you. If he does get you, it only does about 1 or 2% armor damage. There you go. You'll do this 3 or 4 times. Oops, I didn't need to put that in my hand. I didn't want to put that in my hand. So he's coming this way now. Gain corner, you should be able to avoid. And when he circles low like that, that's when he's landing. So back in the same spot. So we'll get him before he flies off this time. Might need another bandage though. So there's another bandage. I think we got in without having to heal up more. And he's down. Disarm the weapon immediately because we don't want it degrading. So let's just see how much it degraded. Soulstorm. Okay, so this time we degraded by 32%, which is normal. But I think I had it in my hand a little bit longer than I needed to, so that was possibly why it went over 30. But yeah, it's usually around 30. You got 3 fights with it before you need to repair. So let's see what he's got. Now what would be really nice is a Dragonscale cuirass. And what else would be nice? A Rage Bane. And let's see what we get. Yuck, two-handed weapon, that's useless. Gloves, yeah, not what we wanted. And 3 Dragonscales. So, that didn't give us what we wanted. Because these two-handed weapons, I mean, you just see how slow they are. They do a lot of damage, but damage per second, you're much better off with the one-handed weapons. And that's Kerr. Now here's what I got yesterday. Gloves again. He dropped a heart yesterday, which he didn't do today. So I've got 2 Dragonscale gloves now, which is, I guess that's just unlucky. So I'm picking up, I've got 2 more hides back at the house, I think, so that's 7 hides, I think. And 3 Dragonscales. Yellow Dragonscales. I think you need yellow Dragonscales and green Dragonscale. There's 3 types. There's yellow Dragonscale, green Dragonscale, and just Dragonscale. To make the dragon bags, which are very good to have because they're huge. You need green Dragonscale and yellow Dragonscales. We don't have green Dragonscale right now. We've got lots of these. We've got lots of this. We've got lots of this. And we just picked up the yellow ones, wasn't it? So next drop, if he gives us green Dragonscales, we can go for one of these. Now small dragons, you still need these green Dragonscales and one of these, which you can pick up from the Killets or Plague Wolves. I think that's the only thing that drops. And there we have it. That was Kerr. So from now on, it's just repetition. Because all we do is just keep killing Kerr until we get a full set of this stuff. Then once we've got a full set of Dragonscale armour, and ideally 2 Rage Banes, although as soon as I got the armour, then I would go for Kerr. Then I would go for Drackonus, using whatever weapons I've got. Ideally, you'd have a Rage Bane by then. But if not, I would use the weapons I had. So I think we're up at about, what is that, 3, 4, 6 shards of Drackonus. Now, Drac drops about 6 shards every single time. So once you've killed him about 3 times, you're getting close to being able to make his sword. And once you can start using his sword on him, then he gets far easier. And Drac also drops a piece of his armour for every outing. The cuirass, the Drac cuirass, is rare. You have to kill him a lot to get, well, you have to be just lucky to get one of those, so you'll normally get a helmet, gloves, boots, but then each time you fight him you can put his own armour on because it's stronger than Dragonscale even. And so that's really the progression from here on in. It's so from here I've got no more Hearts of Tarvas, so I would just have to go and kill all of the Forest Giants again. Oh look, we got another Lycor. Well, I'm going to do him, just because I want another one of his swords. So I would say this counts as lucky in terms of the number of times we're getting Lycor. I'd normally put my D-scale gloves on actually for him, but because it can be difficult to get Lycor to spawn, and the fact that we've seen him 3 times now, twice without actually waiting for him. Oh look, he's doing his little sleepy thing again. Finally our helmet and gloves have gone down below 50%. So if you look in the picture in the right, bottom right, that tells you that the armor is less than 50% now. So now what's he got? Gloves. The swords are good though, because it just means that we like using these, and as soon as it gets very low, it just means we don't have to repair this one. We can just switch in for a new one. So we got a Dragonscale. We wanted the green ones, didn't we? We got 2 more shards of Drackonus, which is good, and this is useless again. Or just collector's piece by now. So you see again, he took almost half health. So I'm going to call the end of the series here, because now it's just repetition. It's taking out the forest giants to get the 4 souls, and more spirit wolves to get their wolf souls. I've got lots of... and by then we'll be able to repair this. Once you've killed the forest giants a few more times, and we've got the Everwood. And then it's just making a bunch more of these. So for every round of forest giants we kill, that's another 2 goes at Cur. So we have to do the forest giants, then 2 more goes at Cur, forest giants again, 2 more goes at Cur, etc., until we got the full D-scale armor and hopefully a rage bane or 2. So it's just repetition. So I don't. So I think I'll call it here. What I might do is come back with a more developed toon. So and then just do some of the end game routines like Drackonus, but maybe using the gear I would assume to have got by the time I would take him on for the first time. So not using his swords and his own armor, for example, because first time you take him on you don't have that. So yeah, I think that would be the way to go. Because everything else from now is just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, with all the mining, Cur, forest giants, etc. So, so anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I might see you back soon with a more developed toon and trying a few different things, or doing a few different things like Drackonus. Okay, thanks again. Bye.